It's okay.
All right, we have Kay with NAMI to do the training for the de-escalation training for the Women's Center. So, if you want to just take it away, go ahead, give it away.
Okay, how many of you are familiar with NAMI? Okay, we have a few people. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and we have it has a national office, a state office, and then there's an affiliate here in Portage and Wood counties. And that's what I'm with. I'm the president there, but I also teach the basics class for parents, where we also do de-escalation. And also we had this summer we had 3 different sessions of crisis intervention training, where there were 2 days, in one in Point, one in Marshfield, and one in Wisconsin Rapids. So de-escalation is a big part of, it's interesting, now it's called de-escalation, but when we talk about it in basics for parents or in some of our other classes, it's mostly just how do you interact, and how do you interact in a way that hopefully keeps things calmer, especially as parents. How do you keep it from becoming really an explosive situation? So that's the same, and the interesting thing is the skills that we teach, whether we're talking about parents or family members or people in the community, people in corrections, or the officers, it's the same basic principles all for everybody. So everybody's getting the same thing, and the things that you have in this handout come from basically from that training. I'm not going to go through everything in the handout. Some of it is there to give you some more examples, because sometimes, well, actually in our training we use a lot of videos to show examples of different situations and how somebody interacted. The thing is, for you, you have 2 people who are going to be here and will probably be doing most of the management when something does arise. But it's good for each of you to understand some of the basics and also to feel comfortable. When we're talking about people who have mental health conditions, but we also could be talking about people who have a form of autism, because they also can be in a situation where they can escalate depending on how you interact with them. Or it could be a person who's actually having a seizure. Not everybody has the seizure that we think of, where you fall on the floor and your whole body shakes and you're out. That's only one kind of seizure. There are other kinds of seizures where a person can be walking around, just like well, not necessarily talking, but basically walking around and looking like they're interacting when in fact they're actually having a seizure. So those are the kinds of potential situations or experiences that the other person may be having that you'd be interacting with. Some of the basics and the most important things about interacting is, first is you, staying calm and realizing you need to be calm. Because you can think about it in terms of other interactions that you have. If you get excited, if the other person's excited and then you get excited, and then they get more excited, and then you get a little more excited, and pretty soon you're both all excited all up here, and it doesn't go very well from there. It just kind of escalates and explodes. So the most important thing is that you're the one who needs to stay calm, and as hard as that might be. One of the most important things we teach for everybody, whether you're an individual who's having an anxiety attack or having a stressful situation, or any of us, is breathing. When we're talking about anxiety and escalating and getting excited, we're talking about there's a certain part of the brain. If we think about the hand as the brain, there's some of us may hear of it. It's called the reptilian brain. It's called lots of different things, or the amygdala. It's right inside, deep inside the brain, and it's our survival center. It's the center where we go into fight, flight, or freeze. It's the be safe. It's the center that gets activated when you're driving your car and you almost hit a deer, or you almost hit a tree, or you almost fall down the stairs, or you're going to be on stage and you have stage fright. That's the center that's activated. This part of the brain is the thinking part of the brain. It's this part. It's the part of the brain that's makes the decisions. Is this good? Is this bad? It's the thinking part of the brain. And normally, our brain has connections. There are different connections from this emergency center into the thinking part of the brain. But when we're in crisis and we're getting excited or we're having a panic attack or we're just feeling panicky, this is how we're functioning. All of everything is in fight, flight, or freeze. There's nothing rational about it. And so what's important is, and when I say that, that also means you've heard of epinephrine. Those are chemicals that are released because they're important when you're in fight, flight, or freeze. It gets your body ready to do all those things. So what we want to do is calm it down. We want to bring those chemicals down in the body. And then one of the first most important things to do is breathe. We're talking the basic breathe in 4 counts, hold it. You got to all do this now because you're going to have to be able to do this. And the time to do it is not like when you're driving, the time to start breathing and being calm is not when the deer's in front of you. Too late. You got to practice it before it's an emergency for you. And in this case, you have to practice it before you're in the situation. So everybody gets to breathe. Breathe in, 4 counts, in, hold it, breathe out. And then breathe in again. And breathe out. Sometimes it takes, 4 or 5 of those. The officers use this. If Officer Aarons was here, she would tell you that once they get a call and the lights are running and they're speeding to a call, she will breathe because the lights and everything is getting her epinephrine running too. And so she wants to calm herself down so that she can be in a better shape so that she can interact. Because if the person that you're interacting with is starting to get excited, you want to stay down here. And basically, when we teach the parents, we say as the parent, your kid's expecting you. They're really looking to you as the adult to stay down here and to help them not totally, go over the edge. So you're going to be trying to stay calm and breathe. So what we often suggest is if the person is starting to seem, and we also talk about talking in the eye language. And we give feedback about what we're seeing. And we use names. We call some, Bob, what's your name?
Connie.
Connie. All right, we would say, Connie, I see that you seem to be getting a little excited here. Could we just take a moment and both of us breathe? Let's breathe together, okay? Breathe in and breathe out. Let's just do it again.
I look that excited, do I?
Yeah, you do. And then I could say, okay, Connie, now what is it that's got you concerned?
Yeah.
So then, she knows I'm talking to her, and we're both going to be calming down at the same time. And if that doesn't work, then there are a few other things. It's like, well, do you need something else? Do you feel calm enough to talk about this, or do you need something else right now? Mm-hmm. We're just talking directly and just saying what we're thinking. Well, not exactly, because I don't know what exactly you're thinking. But I'm concerned. I'm concerned you look like you're getting a little excited. Let's take a few deep breaths, and then we can figure out what's going on. Mm-hmm. And breathe. Okay. So that kind of thing. Or a couple of things I heard some of you talking about is you have to always be concerned for your safety. Your safety is always first, and the safety of all the people around you. So in these situations, we talk about, even as a parent, my daughter used to go into big rage, and I had to learn this by the seat of my pants, how to manage her and not go off the board with her. And one of the things is you keep your distance. You want to be at least far enough away that they can't kick you or hit you. So, if you feel like, it's like, wait a minute, I'm feeling like I need to step back here a little bit and give you a little more space, and I need a little space. You can tell them, I'm doing this, I'm doing this and why I'm doing it. I need a little space. Okay, now let's talk. That kind of thing. So you keep your space. The other thing is, where do you put your hands? People are very, very, how many of you are sensitive or aware of people's nonverbal? Okay, So if I'm standing like this, so Connie, what's up?
Yeah.
You know, how much is she gonna tell me? No, not much, you know, not much. Or I say, you know, I really, really, really do wanna know what's going on. So what's going on?
Yeah.
My voice, my words are right, but my sound isn't. And she's gonna pick up on it, and that's gonna immediately shut things off. So, or if she says something and I go,
Right.
you know, that's a nonverbal of, yeah, right, I really believe you. You know, why bother wasting your time talking to me? I don't really care. You know, oh, am I too close, do you think? So we have to watch our nonverbals. It's the same thing with anybody we communicate with, but some people, especially as they're, if they're starting to be, they're uncomfortable in the situation, it will add to their discomfort. Now, I know that you're going to know a lot of the people who will be here, so I don't anticipate, and also some of the people who are a little more excited, that you'll already know that probably at intake. There might be some situations that will come up over the hours or the time, but you're going to know some of them immediately and deal with them immediately. So you're going to keep your distance. The other thing is you keep your hands out. Now, we do this training with other people, and especially with corrections officers, police officers, and EMS, as we say, you have to keep your hands out for a number of reasons. In those cases, it's because the other person needs to know that they're safe, that you don't have a gun or a stick,
Yeah.
or you're with EMS, they got a shot, you know, that you're gonna surprise them with. In this case, you're not gonna have anything to surprise them with, but you wanna keep your hands out.